Southwest Airlines opened its ninth route last week to El Paso. Its jet fleet has tripled since it began operations 6 years ago. Its passenger load increased 50% last year. 1977, according to its accountants, should be just as profitable. Braniff International is known in the industry as the money machine. It's one of the most efficient moneymakers in the airline business. In fact, in 1974, during the height of its legal entanglements with Southwest, a year in which it claimed it could be ruined by Southwest's alleged unfair trade practices, it reported its most profitable year in its 43-year history. Yet of the two airlines, Braniff has been the loser, not in terms of profit, but in terms of public image and wasted time. Braniff's losing streak began on June 18, 1971, when Southwest loaded its first passengers at Love Field for the 40-minute flight to Houston. That event happened only after Braniff tried to put Southwest out of business by claiming that it would illegally carry interstate passengers, something Southwest is forbidden to do. It was something of a miracle then that Southwest had a plane to fly that June day. By keeping Southwest in court for 3 years, some of the money men and institutions who were to help Southwest buy its first 3 planes had backed out, fearing the Braniff suit would be successful. The president of Southwest, Lamar Muse, who can be a bully as well as a charmer, held most of the money men in line. Muse was aided by the company's chief counsel, Herb Kelleher, who issued legal opinions right and left, which he gave to Muse to help persuade investors that the Braniff suits would not be successful. And although, as we now know, the suits were not successful, they did keep Southwest in a state of penury for the first 2 years of its existence. At one point, Southwest had only $145 in the bank, and Muse would lend his American Express card to the company to buy jet fuel and other essentials. The legal attack against Southwest was only one of several. Another was through the so-called price wars, the most famous being the $13 Air War of 1973. Braniff, like most other air carriers, is regulated by the Civil Aeronautics Board in Washington. CAB carriers charge only what the CAB allows. Therefore, any price increase or decrease must be approved by the CAB. Southwest isn't under that restraint. Because it operates only within Texas, it isn't liable to CAB regulation and can charge whatever it wishes for flights. The $13 Air War began when Braniff lowered its fares from $26 to $13 from Dallas to Houston, $7 less than Southwest. The CAB, by the way, had granted permission to Braniff to lower its fares in order to remain competitive. Southwest responded and won by virtue of staying alive. But Southwest also won because the public began to perceive it for the first time as the David pitted against a Goliath competitor. So, it's generally acknowledged that Southwest's play off Braniff's tight corporate image has worked to Southwest's advantage. Southwest Airlines is here to stay. Braniff and Texas International know that. They also know that the most important item on their agendas is to clean up their corporate images. They have proven that their own worst enemy is themselves.